ॐ गणानां त्वा गणपतिगं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पता न शृण्वन्नोतिभिस्सेदसादनम् ॐ श्रीमहागणपतये नमः। शारदा शारदाम्बोज वदना वदनाम्बुजे सर्वदा सर्वदास्माकं सन्निधिं सन्निधिं क्रियात् सन्निधिं सन्निधिं क्रियात् सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयम् नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणम् सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। व्यासं वसिष्ठनप्तारं शक्तेः पौत्रमकल्मषम् पराशरात्मजं वन्दे शुकतातं तपोनिधिम्। व्यासाय विष्णुरूपाय व्यासरूपाय विष्णवे नमो वै ब्रह्मनिधये वासिष्ठाय नमो नमः। अचतुर्वदनो ब्रह्मा द्विबाहुरपरो हरिः अभाललोचनः शम्भुः भगवान् बादरायणः। ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Let us read the Bhashya. You will read from page 67. परे प्रत्यवतिष्ठन्ते यद्यपि शास्त्र प्रमाणकं ब्रह्म तथापि प्रतिपत्ति विधि विषयतया एव शास्त्रेण ब्रह्म समर्प्यते यथा यूपाहवहनीयादीनि अलौकिकानि अपि विधिशेषतया शास्त्रेण समर्प्यन्ते तद्वत् कुतः एतत् प्रवृत्ति निवृत्ति प्रयोजनत्वात् शास्त्रस्य तथा हि शास्त्र तात्पर्यविद आहुः। दृष्टो हि तस्यार्थः कर्मावबोधनम् चोदना इति क्रियायाः प्रवर्तकं वचनम् तस्य ज्ञानम् उपदेशः तद्भूतानां क्रियार्थेन समाम्नायः आम्नायस्य क्रियार्थत्वाद् आनर्थक्यम् आनर्थ्यम् अतदर्थानाम् इति च अतः पुरुषं क्वचिद् विषयविशेषे प्रवर्तयत् कुतश्चित् विषयविशेषान्निवर्त्य अर्थवत् शास्त्रम् विषयविशेषान् निवर्तयत् च अर्थवत् शास्त्रम् तच्छेषतया च अन्यद् उपयुक्तम् तत्सामान्याद् वेदान्तानामपि तथैवार्थवत्त्वं स्यात् सति च विधिपरत्वे यथा स्वर्गादि कामस्य अग्निहोत्रादिसाधनम् विधीयते एवं अमृतत्व कामस्य ब्रह्मज्ञानं विधीयते इति युक्तम् ननु इह जिज्ञास्य वैलक्षणम् उक्तम् कर्मकाण्डे भव्यो धर्मः जिज्ञास्य इह तु भूतम् नित्यनिवृत्त ब्रह्म जिज्ञास्यमिति तत्र धर्म ज्ञान फलाद् अनुष्ठान अपेक्षात् ब्रह्मज्ञानफलम् भवितुम् अर्हति न अर्हति एवं भवितुम् कार्यविधि प्रयुक्तस्य एव ब्रह्मणः प्रतिपाद्यमानत्वात् आत्मा वा अरे द्रष्टव्यः इति यः आत्मा अपहत पाप्मा सो अन्वेष्टव्यः स विजिज्ञासितव्यः आत्मा एव उपासीत आत्मानम् एव लोकम् उपासीत ब्रह्मवेद ब्रह्मैव भवति इत्यादि विधानेषु सत्सु कः असौ आत्मा किं तत् ब्रह्म इत्याकाङ्क्षायाम् तत्स्वरूपसमर्पणेन सर्वे वेदान्ताः उपयुक्ताः नित्यः सर्वज्ञः सर्वगतः नित्यतृप्तः नित्यशुद्ध बुद्ध मुक्त स्वभावः विज्ञानम् आनन्दम् ब्रह्म इति एवमादयः तद् उपासनाच्च शास्त्रदृष्टः अदृष्टः मोक्षः फलम् भविष्यति इति कर्तव्यविधि अनुप्रवेशे वस्तुमात्र कथने हानोपादान असंभवात् सप्तद्वीपा वसुमती राजासौ गच्छति इत्यादि वाक्यवत् वेदान्तवाक्यानाम् आनर्थक्यम् एव स्यात् ननु वस्तुमात्र कथने अपि रज्जुरियम् नायं सर्पः इत्यादौ भ्रान्तिजनित भीतिनिवर्तनेन अर्थवत्त्वं दृष्टम् तथा इह अपि असंसारी आत्मवस्तुकथनेन संसारित्व भ्रान्तिनिवर्तनेन अर्थवत्त्वं स्याद् एतदेवं यदि रज्जु स्वरूप श्रवण इव सर्पभ्रान्तिः संसारित्व भ्रान्ति ब्रह्मस्वरूप श्रवण मात्रेण निवर्तेत। न तो निवर्तते श्रुत ब्रह्मणो अपि यथा पूर्वम् सुख दुःखादि संसारी धर्म दर्शनात् श्रोतव्यो मंतव्यः निदिध्यासितव्यः इति च श्रवण उत्तरकालयोः मनन निदिध्यासनयोः विधि दर्शनात् तस्मात् प्रतिपत्ति विधि विषयतया एव शास्त्र प्रमाणकम् ब्रह्म अभ्युपगन्तव्यम् इति। Let us see this much first. We were seeing the portion of Purvamimamsa. This topic is going on Sutra number 4, Tattu Samanvayat. So that Brahma is the Shastra Yoni. Shastra Yoni means that is the main subject matter. That is the main thing which is described in the Vedas. How did you say like that? Samanvayat, because of the importance given to Brahman, or because of the consistency that is given to Brahman. This was the meaning of the sutra. Tat means Brahman. Then we were thinking about the word called tu. Tu is for Purva Paksha Vyavartakatvam. It is to remove all the other Purva Paksha. So we were seeing the Astik Darshan can be condensed to 3 Purva Paksha. And in 3 Purva Paksha, Sankhya will be taken more in detail from 5th Sutra to 134th Sutra. And Nyaya will be taken little only in the 2nd chapter. So here Purvamimamsa was discussed. So Purvamimamsa, which is described in the Vedas, as I said, is very much accepted by the Vedanta. Because Purvamimamsa gives you the technique of Upasana and also the technique of Karma. And therefore, Purvamimamsa is a Upkari. Upkari means it blesses the Vedantic teaching. It is as a prelude, like you have to study metric to go to graduation. Therefore, the very word of called Purva means first you go through this, and then Uttar means later on. And later on you can come to the Vedanta. So, Purvamimamsa regularizes our life, makes us selfless, makes us more disciplined in our life, makes us more devoid of rag and dvesh in our life. Okay? It makes you feel you impose some bondage upon yourself. Svechaya krato bandha nibandhaya upakalpate. If you put rules upon yourself and tie yourself, that rule which you tied yourself with becomes a cause of your freedom. Parichaya krato bandha bandhaya iti upakalpate. But if somebody else ties you with certain rules, so that does not liberate you. So Purmimamsa creates a mind through which you find that I should live a life of rules. I should live a life of do's and don'ts. I want to be ruled. I will not follow what I wish. I will not be licentiously acting. I will act as per the rules, as per the dictum, as per the books. I will follow the book. Or you say, I will follow the law of the land. Every country has its own law. So there is a law of the Vedas I will follow. Whether it is getting up, whether it is doing ritual, whether it is performing yajna yagadi. Because when a person sits also in yajna yagadi, that itself is a tapasya. Because it needs some kind of giving up your food, giving up your water. When you are sitting in the yajna, you can't drink water in between. Or you are sitting in the yajna and one Coke bottle is also there, tin is there. In Swaha, in between you take one, two sips. So this is not allowed there. Even sitting on the chair is not allowed while doing yajna, as you all do here. Strictly speaking, the Havan Kund should be at your level. You should not be too much above the Havan Kund, like this. You are looking down upon the Havan Kund, so it should be at our level. So this way, you know how to tolerate some pains, and there is no yajna, Havan without tears coming out. So tears also come out because of the wood. Sometimes wood are especially drafted for tears. So a lot of smoke is there. Or you do jap, or you do puja. Everywhere there is an aspect of tolerance. You give up some likes. You give up something which you like. You like to sleep till late, you have to give up that. And so on and so forth. So we saw that Purmimamsa is very necessary rather for entering into the Vedantic studies, because it gives you sadhan chatushtay. If the Purmimamsa is performed with nishkamta, you don't want the fruit called heaven, etc. But where the problem came is after Jaimini had written the sutras, Shabar Swami had written the commentary on Jaimini's sutra called Shabar Bhashya. On that Shabar Bhashya, there were two big stalwarts. One was called Kumaril Bhatt and other is called Prabhakar. They wrote the commentary on Shabar Bhashya. And in that commentary, sometimes they said that Vedanta is not needed because the Purmimamsa itself can give moksha to everybody. Now here is where the society became very rampant, and lot of Purmimamsas, this aspect of philosophy became popular. Now this was, what was their thing we were seeing yesterday, that then they said in the Vedas there are two kinds of statement. One kind of statement was called Siddha Bodhak Vakya. That was called statements of facts. And other is called Karya Bodhak Vakya. This is called statements of commandment. This I am just repeating. They said that any statement of fact does not give you any purusharth. Purusharth means what? Cessation of sorrows and getting of joy is called purusharth. Because artha, kam, dharma, moksha ultimately is for sorrow removal and attainment of the highest bliss. Whereas the statements of commandments, karya bodhak vakya, or statements of commandments, they make you do something and they give you a solution. Please note, this is said by these two. Who? This is Bhattamat. Bhattamat and Prabhakarmat. What is written by Bhatt is called Bhattena. Bhattena Kritam is called Bhatta. Okay? Bhatta. Now, they said now that Karya Bodhak Vakyani Saprayojanani and Siddha Bodhak Vakyani Aprayojanani or Nishprayojanani. That statement of fact is useless and a statement of commandment is useful. This is their conclusion. Okay, okay, I am agreeing to that. Then the topic came of Pramana. Pramana. If you remember yesterday's definition, anadigatam, abaditam, phalvatvam, and arthabodhakam pramanam. 4 words were there. So they said Praman is a revealer. Very good, very good. But that which cannot be revealed by anything and that which is not contradicted. But third thing, so this Vedanta agrees. But the third thing what they said, phalvatvam. Phalvatvam is what? It has a utility. Ab here is where was the bone of content. I give you the example. Supposing you hear something. You hear. Any word you heard something. So from that hearing, you can make it out, you start learning something. You start learning that yes, I heard some good thing today and therefore it was saprayojan. Or supposing something was not good to be heard, then you said, I heard something bad today. I should not have heard. Some people, when others talk, their ears are there only. Although they see somewhere, but their ears are there. As if we have less garbage inside. So they are putting some more aspect in their mind. So every praman, like your tongue is tasting something. See how much they think. Those who think, they only can talk about that. Otherwise, the tongue has tasted something. So after tasting something, you will know that this is better to eat or not better to eat. Should I eat it or leave it here? If you don't, it is not good for me, then you leave it. If it is good for you, then can you eat more. Okay. So they said, Purmimamsa, especially these two, they are both together. Let us see where they will differ later on. Though both said that this praman should be having a utility. It should be purposeful. If it is not purposeful, it is not a praman. Lo, bahut badi baat ho gayi. And therefore, siddha bodhak vakya are aprayojanani, because they are not giving any purpose, and the karya bodhak vakya was saprayojanani. I'm repeating it, I think I had mentioned that. So the statements of facts are useless and statements of injunction or commandments are useful. And because of that, statements of facts are apramanani lo. They are not the pramana. Very big thing they made now. They are not the pramana. And statement of injunction or what is it called? Commandments are sapramanani. They alone are pramana. They only are pramana. And for this, they quoted one very, very popular sutra of Jaimini, which you should know it very well. It comes very frequently. Amnyayasya kriyarthatvat. Amnyayasya kriyarthatvat. Anarthakyam atadarthanam. Today also this has come. See, in this page, when we were reading today, see the page 69, second line. Amnyayasya kriyarthatvat anarthakyam anarthyam. It is written, it should be anarthakyam is written. Anarthakyam atadarthanam. See, it is written in Jaimini Sutra 121. Can you see that? This is a very popular sutra of Jaimini, not Jaimini. And what he says, see what statement he made. Amnaya means Vedas. So the Vedas, whatever Vedas say, they should be put into practice. Everything, every knowledge should be practicable. If knowledge is not practicable, then it is anarthakyam. Anarthakyam means useless. Atad arthanam. Atad artha means siddh bodhakatvat. So, these statements which are not telling you to do something, they are useless. Yesterday I was talking about that science which is very useful alone can give you the livelihood. Okay. Supposing you have some knowledge, you are a very good poet. You may be a very good poet, but it won't give you livelihood. It won't give you livelihood. Or you are a very good, supposing, so therefore musicians also is difficult. Supposing you are a musician, unless you open one music school. If you are only musician, you won't get your livelihood now. Every day you don't know. Therefore any musician comes here, we try to give something. Supposing musician, you have taken only a musician's work is there. Somebody will call, somebody will not call. And somebody is not calling, then you have a house to run, you have a children, you have, wife, you have rent to pay, you have electricity bill, you have phone bill, you have metro bill. And this month nobody is calling, no program is going on this month. Or supposing 1-2 program happen, they may give any amount. If you say no, my charge is so many thousand, so they won't call also. If you say no, I'll charge 3,000 for 3 hours of program. So they say you are too expensive. 3,000 is too much. And then 15 days, no program. If somebody has a family, he has to pay fees for the children. Everything is not so easy. So income per month may be 3,000, 4,000, expenditure is 10,000, 11,000. If a full-fledged family is there, petrol is there, car is there. So who will pursue as a career now? Now either he opens a music school. If he opens a music school, then he can have 20, 30 children and then he can earn something. This is what is said by Jaimini. Anartakyam atadarthanam. Tad means karmakant. Atadarthanam means which is not karyabodak vakya. If it is not inspiring you to do something, those statements are useless. Very famous line is there of Jaimini. So what you want to say? I want to say that Vedas are for statements of commandments. All other statements are apramanam, invalid. Okay. Now, please get. So he says, Purvamimamsa says that entire Gyan Kand is only dealing with Siddha Vastu. It does not talk about any karma to be performed. And we have already told that Keval Jnanam is aprayojanam. Hence, conclusion is that whole Upanishad is a pramanam. Very big statement you made. Only let me complete, then you talk. First, let me complete. Purvamimamsa says. When you were talking, I was not interfering you. So when I am talking, you also keep quiet and listen. Okay. When you were talking, why I was interrupting you? No, then you first listen to what I say. When two people fight, this is how they talk. Let me complete. So, Siddha Bodhak Vakyatvat is a pramanam. Baapre baap. So he says, what benefit I will get by knowing five elements? I have been born. What benefit I get if I say Brahman is there? So Siddha Bodhak Vakyani Nishprayojanani Nishprayojanatvat Apramanani. Because they are useless, therefore they are, because one in the pramal should be there which should be useful. Bole, then how is it in the Vedas? Bole, in the Vedas, Gyan Kand is useless. It is like a barren land in the country. It is like a country is lush, full of trees, and like Australia is there. So Australia, only on the coastline the cities are there. The main Australia is full of desert. It is the biggest continent which is the country. Only continent. His whole continent is country only. There is big area of Australia, but it is all barren. So they say that, our karma kand is like a lush tree everywhere. Some fruit is there. If you do this, you will get this. If you do this, you will get. Gyan kand is like a barren. Vedo Shira Vedanta. Ushir means barren land. So one in the Vedas also, there is a Ushir. Ushir means barren land is there, which is called Vedanta. Bole, yaar, aisi baat mat karo, tum don't say like that. I can't keep quiet. Bole, let me complete. Okay. So like Vedas are there, but it has a barren portion also. Okay. Like hairs are there. So some portion are barren. Sometimes some people have hair. So this portion has hair. This portion. But in between there is a barren. Not that there is no hair. So you have not seen. This portion is hair is there. This portion. But this portion is Ushar land. Ushar Shiraha. So there is no, how much oil you put, nothing happens. It is totally barren. It has, but this portion is lush. So, this portion. So it happens. Achha, women also, sometimes I see hairs are not there. When you go aged, So this side also you can see that hairs are missing sometimes, this side. Okay. So here, so what you want to say, since Karya-bodhak Vakya alone are useful, therefore they are sub-pramana, this is not pramana. Now the question and problems are becoming more prominent. Only tell me one thing. Then how come this Siddha Bodhak Vakya? They said it is all Arthavad. It is a glorification. Glorification of what? I am telling you. Only one thing you please tell me. You accept whole Vedas as pramana or not? Question was asked. Please follow the argument. Please follow the argument. It will be resembling Arya Samaj. Here is where Arya Samaj comes into picture. They don't accept the Vedant part. And why they don't accept, I told you. This is the cause. It doesn't have any action. There is no consequence. Now the question arose, only one thing you please tell me. Please ask, can I discuss with you? Yes, you discuss with me. When I did stop you? You please tell me that whole Veda you accept as a praman or partial Veda as you accept as a praman. Either one person, either you say, he is a proof, he is authority. Either you say, he is not an authority. On one subject, you can't say in one subject he is authority also, he is not authority also. When you are talking of authority of somebody, and he is authority in this subject, then you should say that either you accept him total authority or you don't accept him authority on that subject. You can't say in the same subject he is authority and not authority. When you are accepting the Vedas as a praman, then you accept the whole Vedas as a praman, or you should not accept at praman at all. You tell me one thing, Purvamimamsa, you accept the whole Vedas as a praman or a partial Vedas as a praman? Tell me one thing now. You can't say that this portion I accept as a praman, this portion I don't accept as a praman. You cannot say like that. Praman means means of authority for knowledge. Is an authority for knowledge. Supposing somebody is a mathematics genius, he is a mathematician. So you say, he's authority in mathematics. You can't say, in one portion of mathematics he is authority. No, when you have accepted as when one subject, then you have to accept as authority in that particular. Bole acha? You know that Vedas are pramanik. Bole, I accept that. So you also accept it is aparusha. Bole, yes, I accept it is aparusha. So you accept there are no defects of the human nature. Karana Pata is not there, Vipralipsa is not there, Brahm Pramad is not there. Bole, I accept it. Only thing which I don't accept, Purvamimamsa is telling to Arya Samaji, what I don't accept, we don't accept the God as the revealer of Vedas. You accept that the God is revealer of Vedas. Then how does Vedas have come? Bole, the Vedas itself are God. So it doesn't need anything to reveal itself. It is anadi. Vedas are self-revealing. So they revealed by themselves. Okay. Now, when you say that, one part will be a pramanam, no, ultimately you are making half Veda. When you say half Ved is a praman, or Uttarmimamsa, the Vedanta is a praman, you know what you are talking about? Well, what? You are saying it is false. You are, in one statement, if you say half portion is true and half portion is false, that means it is equivalent to saying that all is false. You are indirectly making whole Vedas as a praman by saying that one person. It is just like that, So, how is he? How is his whole schedule? Bole no, from 1 to 12 o'clock in the morning, he is very good person. From 1 o'clock onwards, he is a drunkard. It is equivalent to saying that whole he will be called drunkard only then. You cannot say no, one part he is very good, one part he is not good. Nobody is thief all the time. So he who only steals in the night. Daytime he is a saint, night time he is a thief. So we have two portions of one person. No, then I will not call him saint. I will call him thief only. Even if he steals once in the night also, he will be called as thief only. All this work has gone bad now. He won't be called a saint at that time also. Got my point? Now you are defining him one action by one action you are saying. One negativity is there, then it has washed off everything. Supposing a person, 5 statements he says true, 1 statement he says false. So you will not say, now you are doubting all 5 statements. If anybody says lie also, once in a while, and you know that this person may lie, even if he is saying right thing, he is not an authority, he is no longer an authority because he speaks false. I have doubt whether he is, and if I have to confirm, I won't ask him because he lies. No, but he may not be lying. He may not be lying, but I have element of doubt now. So sandigdham praman will not be asandigdh. If you are saying that one portion is praman and one portion is not the praman, you are contradicting yourself. Got my point? Okay. Well, no, I have a solution. Purmimansa said, I have a solution. Well, what is the solution? Please hear this properly. Okay? What is the solution? When I say, Purmimansa is saying, when I say that when Siddha Bodhak Vakya are apraman, I am only saying they are not directly useful, they are indirectly useful. Wow. What do you mean? Can you elaborate? Well, of course I will elaborate. I can elaborate a lot. Okay, you elaborate. What do you meaning of directly not useful and indirectly useful? What do you mean by that? It is having like science and technology. Science and technology. Of science which you study in the classroom, supposing you are studying the machines, or you are studying the, what is the meaning of pancreas, or what is the meaning of, what is it called, stomach. So study is one thing. That is called, while studying, it is not directly useful, but when I apply it, it is useful. In the classroom, when you study, that knowledge doesn't help as much. When you apply it, then it is useful. Like cooking classes are going on. A cooking class I join cooking classes. That cooking classes, just by hearing the cooking classes are not useful, but when I go in my kitchen, I open my notes. Which notes? Cooking notes. That take half kg potato. You saw what is half kg potato. Put some curd into it. 5 spoon curd. Acha? Haan. Boiled potato I had. Oh, I didn't boil it. Sorry. No, again, wasted. You boil the potato. After boiling the potato, then you have to put curd, and then you put in the kadai. Okay, then what is written? I think it is written, put 1 spoon imli. Okay. Then you put tamarind also. Then what is written? The chili is there. Okay, this chili is there. Then put it, let it boil for some time. Acha, हाँ. Then crush it. Okay. Then you crush, mix it. Okay. Put some cream also. Put some cream also. Then take it out. Acha. Then what to put? Salt I have not put. Salt also you put that. Ready? Ready. On the dhania also, you cut dhania, do like this dhania. So dhania, what is this? Dhania you put. Then you make tikki. I was wanting to make aloo tikkis there. Okay. Some, if you take garlic, put some garlic also. Okay, then you do like this. Then you make tikki like. Then put in the tawa now. Then tawa what shall I do? Then you fry it. Put ghee now. So this is there. Then you put like that. Then you have, it should become crisp. Okay, without ghee it won't become crisp. It is very raw. Taste will not come. Let it become red. Slow the burner. Too fast is there. Slow the burner. Like that is there. Chutney is there, yes. The pudina mint chutney is there. Put some salt and put some chili into it. Acha, हाँ. Make it little fiery. So and now give immediately. It should be taken hot, not cold. Acha, yes. Now what knowledge he had in the cooking class, what he learned from the YouTube did not quench the hunger or thirst. After applying it only, so it was indirectly useful, not directly useful. Now he is saying, Purmimansa is saying, come out of that tikya now. Some are there only. So, breakfast is after this, don't worry. Now what Purmimansa is saying, that this Siddha Bodhak Vakya by itself doesn't help. When you implement in the implication of Karya Bodhak Vakya, it is helpful. It is helpful in implementation of Karya Bodhak Vakya. Well, can you give an example? Well, yes, I'm coming by in a hurry. I'm telling everything. Okay. Supposing Vedas say, Jyotishtoma Swarga Kamam Yajeta. So, one who is desirous of Swarga should do Jyotishthom Yag. Achha. So, it is said at some place that Swarga is very beautiful. So, this is, when it is described about heaven, it is Siddha Bodhak Vakya or Karya Bodhak? Siddha Bodhak. It is a statement of fact is there. Swarge loke na bhayam kinchanasti na tatra tvam na jaraya bhibeti ubhe tirthva ashanaya pipase shokatigo modate swarga loke. Nachiketa says that swarge loke na bhayam kinchanasti, there is no fear. Na tatra tvam, you are also not there. I should not have said in front of him. So natra tatra tvam na jarya bibheti. That means he was a little naughty also. So na jarya. There is no old age. There is no fear. So this is statement of fact. This is called Siddha Bodhak Vakyam. Now, please not get my point. This statement has a value. When you, now this is an inspirer to go to the Swarga. When another statements, now the question is coming, how shall I go to the Swarga? After hearing this, only this question will come, how should I go to the Swarg? And then it is said that Jyotishto Homa Swarga Gamam Yajeta. One who wants Swarg, he should do Jyotishto Hom. There is one home, it is called Jyotishto Hom. So that statement, Siddha Bodhak Vakya, became an inspirer. So it was indirectly useful and not directly useful. Similarly, one statement is there, Vayur Vaikshapishtha Devata, Kshepishtha Devata. So Vayu is a very fast Devata. This is a clear and clean Siddha Bodhak Vakya. That Vayu is a Devata which is very swift. Vayu Devata is there, very swift. If anybody, that means if Vayu Devata is happy, your work will happen very fast. You will not be slow in working. Your work will not be very slow. Now this is Siddha Bodhak Vakya. Now the Upanishad will say, Vayavyam Shvetamala. So one should offer oblation to the Vayu Devata. So the Siddha Bodhak Vakya are like the empty compartments, and Karya Bodhak Vakya are like the propeller. It is like a propeller. Like bullet is there. Bullet is no value if it is kept outside. If the bullet is kept outside in a drawer, or bullet is kept on your, drawing room, that you kept 5 bullets, it has no value. Bullet has a value only when it is inside the gun. Then bullet has a big value. But bullet, if it is kept somewhere as a decoration item, it has no power to hurt anybody. Even if you take a bullet and hit on the hand, it won't be hit too much. Similarly, Siddha Bodhak Vakya are like the empty bullets. And Karya Bodhak are like the guns. So this gun and bullet, when they combine, then only result comes. Alone the bullet does not have any big meaning. Bullet has a killing power only when it goes through the gun barrel. It gains the speed only when you put inside the barrel and trigger that horse. Then only bullet will shoot. So Siddha Bodhak Vakya have like the engine is there and the compartments are there, bogies are there. Lot of bogies are there. Compartment. Those compartment, unless it is, unless it is attached to the engine, it has no value. So one person was there. So he was going in the train compartment. He was houseful. He went in the bathroom and put a mask. And he started coming and started coughing in front of everybody. So everybody got afraid and they ran away. So he had a full compartment. Nicely he slept. So Lucknow was his station. So he slept. Nobody was there. Morning he got up. So he asked, which station has come? They said, Lucknow. He said, but Lucknow I started only. Last night, Lucknow I started only. Then the boy said, railway station boy, yesterday somebody came with the coronavirus. We had cut this compartment. All the travelers took another compartment because this has to be sanitized now. Don't try to be too clever, it means. The moral of the story is, don't try to be too smart. They say your statements of Siddha Bodhak Vak are like the compartment. Only when it is associated with the engine, then only it has a meaning. Otherwise, it's standing there only. It won't move anywhere. It won't move anywhere. It can't take you anywhere. Okay, so what you want to say? I'm wanting to say, you are accusing me that one part is Praman and one part is not a Praman. I am saying that Karya Bodhak Vak is direct Praman and Siddha Bodhak Vak is indirect Praman. So, okay. Okay. And therefore, there is a Sheshi Sambandh. Sheshi, part and whole. Part and whole. This hand has a value only when it is attached to the body. This hand has no value unless it is attached to the body. It can do any work only when this hand is attached to the body. Without being attached to the body, this hand is a useless thing lying down anywhere. It should be thrown away. Or the hair has a value. Hair can beautify only when the hair is attached to the head. Then the same hair appears beautiful. They say your hair is very beautiful. Same hair, if you go to the barber and he trims it or he shaves it, and the same hair has fallen on the ground, so hair is only a dirt. Their hair has to be thrown out. It has no value. So there is a Sheshi Sambandh. So when anything is connected to the whole, then only it will be valuable. So the Siddha Bodhak Vakya are the Shesh and Karya Bodhak Vakya are the Sheshi. So between the Siddha Bodhak Vakya and the Karya Bodhak Vakya, there is a Sheshi Sambandh. Okay. So with this bhav, when I see the whole Vedas, then whole Vedas are Praman. Because Siddha Bodhak Vakya is also indirect Praman and not the direct Praman. But again I will say the whole thing. Entire Gyan Kand is also Siddha Bodhak Vakya and therefore independently they are useless. Hence all Vedantic statements should be linked with some kind of Karma Kand statement to make the Vedant relevant. Okay. I hope you are getting what I am saying. Is it clear? Yes. So what about the Brahman, Nanta Pragya, Na Bahish Pragya, Na Ubhayata Pragya, Na Pragyam, Na Pragyam, or Na Tatra Chakshur Gacchati, Na Vag Gacchati, No Mana, Na Vidmana, Na Vidma, Na Vijanima, Yata Yatad Anusheshyat, Anya Devtad Viditad Aviditad Adi. Or statement is there, Yat Tad Adriksham Agrayam, Achakshushrotram Avarnam. What about those statements? What about that statement? How will you associate with this Karma Kand portion? You please tell me. Well, I'm talking and you interrupt in between. Let me complete. Okay. Have patience when I'm listening. Purvamimamsa is saying now. He said, don't worry. There is nothing such thing called Brahman. There is nothing such thing. It is your delusion. This is totally, you hear about, when I say Purvamimamsa, closest is the Arya Samaj. Arya Samaj. Bole acha? Bole Vedanta is not there. Vedanta is not to reveal Brahman. In Bhatt Mat and Prabhakar Mat, both don't believe in the existence of something called Brahman. Bole bhaiya mere, whole Vedanta is talking about Brahman. Bole, Vedas is not revealing Brahman. Bole, why? Because there is no use of Brahman. Oh, yes. Tell me what is the prayojana of Brahman. Supposing you know Brahman, any problem is solved. Any worldly problem is solved or not. You become richer person. Is there any, you can do something after Brahman. Because after knowing Brahman, you say there is no doer. So nothing could be done now. When there is no doer, you can't do something after Brahman, then what is the use of Brahman? Oh, because you only say avyavaharyam. In Manduk you say that it is avyavaharyam. Because every vyavahar requires kriya, karak, phal. Either action is required or karak means? Karak means? Huh? Now, SS3 is, how will you define karak? Kriya sahayatvam, which is involved in the action, nominative, accusative. Like action is involved. So action cannot be and the karak is there. I am talking to you. So I am in nominative, you are in accusative. With this, you are writing with this. That is instrumental. Bole bhaiya, you are saying Brahman is sarvyapi. Bole, I am saying that. Brahman is all pervading. What is the use? Can Brahman do anything? Bole, no, Brahman can't do anything. Why? Arey, Brahman cannot do, there is no space to do. To do, you need something else on which you can do. Where can space walk? There is no space for space to walk. One science professor asked the students, supposing earth falls, what will happen? Supposing earth falls, what will happen? Every student was bewildered, what will happen if the earth falls? Then one intelligent student was there, he said, bhai, but earth will fall where? Falling is possible only in the earth, where gravitational rules are there. Earth will fall where? Gravitational rule is not everywhere same. Outside the orbit of the earth, there is no gravitational, there is no gravity. Gravity is not there. That earth will fall. Earth will hang, but earth will not fall. Where will it fall? Now some are already confused. So he is saying that views say that Brahman is Purnamada, Purnamidam, Purnat, Purnamada. Class is not over. I am talking about Brahman. So when you are saying that Brahman is Purna or Brahman is all pervading, my question is, how will it act? Bole, no, it cannot act. Bole, look, when it cannot act, then what is the purpose? This is a common kind of thing where only action is very important matter. Kuch karo, do something. They cannot think of something which is beyond doing also. Everything is known by its applicability. Applicability is a very big thing in the modern world. Well, and then you cannot act. Because it has no karak, it is no kriya, there is no phal of Brahman. So this Brahman is utterly useless. Because it cannot act. And please note, don't think these points are irrelevant. Today also, if you go and tell to somebody, he will say the same thing. When it cannot act, it is something who can't work is useless. Any person who can't work is useless. Any car which does not work is useless. Any machine which has no work is useless. Everything is equated to what you work, what you do. They cannot think of something which is only existing and without don't understand that anything which is complete cannot work, because working requires a modification. Karta, if you become karta, you have to modify. Anything which modifies, it dies. People don't think too much. And therefore they said that there is nothing called Brahman, because anything which is not useful is not a Praman. There is no proof that Brahman is existing. I don't believe in there is Brahman. Okay. This is how they refute Brahman. I am telling you. Achha? Only what about the Atma Gyan and all these things? It is mentioned in the scriptures. Vole bhai Atma Gyan, what is the need of Atma Gyan? You know the knowledge of the self, already you know you are there. So what is the... Bhai, Praman is that which reveals something which is not revealed by something else. When you already know that you are existing, then why do you need the Praman of Vedas to say that Atma Gyan is there? So it is not... Vedas will not tell you about Atma, because anyway you know about yourself. Sata siddhasya atmana ved vedyatvam katham bhavati. When you know the Atma is there, then why the Vedas will talk about the Atma Gyan and all this? Praman should reveal something which is not revealed by any other Praman. And therefore Atma Gyan is not proper thing in Vedanta. But in the Vedanta, Atma is being talked of. Atma is said there. What? Atma is talked of, that Nitya, Shuddha, Buddha, Mukta. Tattvamasi. Vale, dekho ya, I also am reading the Vedas, not that you are reading, I have also read. Then why these words have been doing? They are to encourage the Yajman. This word. This is what they say. This is the encouragement of Yajman. Like somebody is working, you encourage, you say, very good you are, very nice person you are. It is just to encourage him. It is a matter of encouragement. Like somebody gave donation, so he will be asked, well, see, this person has been donating a lot, he is a very pure person. Like we praise him so that he continues donating. Similarly, the Vedas are encouraging the Yajman by saying you are purest, you are Nitya, you alone are. So this is all the encouraging statement. This is not, don't take it as the reality. This is Arthavad. This is not a reality. ये तो उनकी any time you praise, you always praise more than a person is. If you praise only as much he is, it is not a right praise. You always use more superlatives to praise that person. He is saying like, this is glorifying the Yajman. So, Kartru Stuti Vakyam. This is what they say. They are the Stuti Vakyam. Okay. Acha, what about the Brahman, which is said that Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma? Are bhaiya, this Brahman is only for glorification of the Yag Devta. Indra has been glorified. So Atma is glorification of Yajman, and Brahman is glorification of the Indra Devta, Agni Devta. That is only glorification. You are making him big. Okay. So Brahman is not a fact. It is a Devata Stuti Vakyani. You should also know what others are thinking. Supposing you meet Samare Samaji, he raises this point, you will live in non-plus. Ab batao. He say, no, I don't believe in God, I don't believe in Brahman, I don't believe in Upanishads. I just don't believe in Yajna Yagadi, and I have no other thing. You are all festivals you are celebrating. Unnecessarily you are celebrating Shivratri, celebrating Ram Navami, chanting Ram Nam. Nothing is like that. This is what their argument is. And if you don't know what I am talking, you will be, I also did not know, thank you. And you will also, you may get confused. Achha, now he said, 1 minute, then this is statement Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, or the statement Na Tatra Chakshu Gacchati. How will you tackle this? बोले दिस इज द सिद्ध वाक्यानि, वी हैव टू कॉम्प्लीमेंट इट विथ कार्य वाक्यानि, देन इट विल बी फाइन. Then I will associate. Well, but how will you associate this with the statements of injunctions or statement of commandment? These statements of fact, how are you going to combine it? So here is where both differ. Bhatt and Prabhakar differ. Bhatt said that all statement can be connected to all karma kand. All statement of Vedanta can be connected to all karma kand. And Prabhakar said, no. You cannot do like that, it will create a mess. Quite a confusion will be there. So what the karma kand statement is coming closest to the Siddha Vakyani, we should connect that only. In the chronological order, as the Vedas are there, we have to see that which karma kand statement is coming close to the Vedanta statement, then we will connect both. This is their difference. And more we will see tomorrow. Hari Om. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.